Hey everyone, thanks again for joining another Slim Sports interview. As always, I am your host, JD, and joining me today is a 6'2" defensive back that is making his way to the college level, playing for the University of Illinois next year, Jaheim Clarke. How's it going, my guy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing good. Happy to have you on here. I know you're one of the top talents from around my hometown area in Fort Myers, Florida, the 239. Definitely happy to see the growth of this area and with yourself. You've been at Riverdale the past 4 years, one of the star players, one of the best players to come out of that program now. And now you get to head off not just to play Division I football, but Power Five conference football at the University of Illinois. What does that mean to you to be able to go play not just at the Division I level, but for a high major caliber school?
It means a lot to me to know that I'm going to go play Division I football from that school in particularly, and just know that I did me and AJ did what everybody else said that we couldn't do, which was go D1 from that school because of you know, the way the school is. But it's like a dream come true. Like every day I think back to the first day as a freshman, like my first year actually playing football, and I'm like, wow, this is actually happening. Like it's happening to me, and I'm just thankful for that opportunity.
Absolutely. And I know you said Riverdale obviously hasn't had the high caliber reputation that some of these schools around the area do, such as Lehigh Senior High School, Fort Myers, some of those schools. What does it mean to you to have been one of these top players from Riverdale? What has it meant to you to play there over these past 4 years? And how do you feel like your time at Riverdale has helped prepare you for this jump to college?
So my time, my for the past 4 years playing for Riverdale has been excellent. Like I learned a lot from many coaches that had came in to that school and left that school. Every year I wanted to get 1% better or 100% better every year, but every day I just rose to the potential that they were expecting of me to get 1% better every day. And for all the people that was you weren't going to go D1 from Riverdale, now they're all supporters of me because they saw a difference in me than they saw from the past athletes. And the impact that I left on our school is now it's my last today was my last day in school, and I go back now, and the younger generation 2024 and 2025, there's a lot of scouts going into the school that I've seen in years besides last year when it was my time. And I'm just thankful that I put Riverdale back on the map and help all the younger classes get recruited. We just had a 6'8" O line. He's a sophomore, just got offered by UCF, and I'm so proud because I'm now there's Division I school coming there because we have talent at that school. So I'm just blessed to be the one to help the school get back to where it need to be.
Absolutely. And you weren't the only Division I signee from this school this past year from Riverdale. You
Yes, sir.
obviously were one of the top talents. You had a lot of offers. You had offers from Iowa State, Marshall, USF, Tulane, a lot of really talented programs. Of course, Illinois offered you real quick, and now you're going there. But one of your teammates, I know he's a good buddy of yours, AJ Baxter, he's going to be heading to Temple next season in the American Conference. I know you
Yes, sir.
guys have practiced with each other, worked out with each other a lot. What has it meant to you to play alongside him, and how have you guys gotten each other better?
So playing alongside of him, we both understood each other, so that made the assignments easier. I know this year they moved me down the corner to boundary corner on his side, so I could lock down that side of the field. And I know I wasn't gonna need help over top, but if there was ever a run play to my side and I was down the field covering, I know AJ was gonna come down and hit something and stop the play. So me and him had that understanding that nobody else really had on the defense. So we were a tremendous duos, making big plays, we was making big hits and stopping everybody else. And knowing that me and him was accomplishing our goals is really really excited for both of us. And every day I practice, he pushed me because we both know how to play both sides of the ball. They both use us on both sides of the ball. So when he's at receiver, I know, oh yeah, it's AJ. He's a tall guy. He's like, I think 6'4". So I know that I had to be in my A game because he could go up there and go get the ball and catch it over your head. So I know I just had to shut him down a lot at practice. So we go one-on-ones every day at practice. He'll win some, I'll win some. But mostly, if you know, you know, I'll probably win at mostly on the defensive side, and he'll win on the mostly the offensive side. So yeah. But we really push each other. Like I went out there and I wouldn't go like 95% on him. I'll go like 120% on him, even though like I'm faster, so I know that it will work him to get like faster and get better every day. And he'll do his 120% because he know that like he helped me and I help him. So, and if we wasn't going our hardest against each other, we wouldn't be making us better. That's why there's the term iron sharpen iron.
Absolutely. And you guys were a lockdown defensive back duo for Riverdale this past season. Obviously, now
Yes.
both of you guys get to join a large group of players from around this area that have made their way to the Division I level, now signing to go to your respective schools. I mean, you talk about the talent that has come out of this area. A couple of good friends of mine, Quayshawn Fuller, who's at Maryland, Kane Baker, who's at North Carolina, and Tavin Ward, who's at South Florida. They're doing their thing along with a lot of other great talented players. Your
Yes.
class alone has some incredible talent. One of the top prospects in the nation in Richard Young going to play at the University of Alabama. And then Kelton Henderson, last I checked, he was still going to South Carolina. I don't know if that's still the case, but there's so much talent from around this area and talent going to the NFL as well. We'll get into that here in a sec. But what does it mean to you to be a part of this group of talent from the Southwest Florida area?
Like I said, it was a dream come true. Uh, I had to like work hard because like I wasn't like naturally gifted at the sport football because I didn't play when I was younger. So when I got to high school, all those prospects, there was like they had like what they had. They had the talent because so most of them got offered, I think, their freshman year. And I look up to them as like a player, just a brand new player. I looked up to them and I wanted to be like where they were at. So that made me work harder enough. And now all of them like I grew up with like most of them, and we went to the same middle school and elementary school. So to now being like the underdog and now being on all their level, it was just a dream come true. And I'm so happy that I got to be like one of the best players coming out of this class because that was the dream, and I just finally come true.
Absolutely, man. You've had a great high school career overall, a 4-year letter winner at Riverdale, 3-time All Area selection, got to play for a good coach in Frank Hepler. Uh, I checked Max Preps. It didn't have all of the games, but from what I could find, 76 career tackles, 44 solo between your senior and junior years. Your years before that weren't on there. 11 pass deflections, 7 interceptions between your last 2 years. Just lockdown corner, did whatever you could. And what's crazy is there's another Southwest Florida product that just got done at Illinois in Jartavius Martin. He just was a second-round pick for the Washington Commanders. Absolutely insane talent. I know you got to meet him on your visit to Illinois. Talk
Yes,
real
sir.
quick about that relationship that you have with him now. How has he really helped you get ready mentally for that next level?
The relationship that when I had met him and we had talked, I figured out like I could easily connect with him. It was like really easy to connect with him because we're like practically the same person. And he basically told me that like when you get to college, it's different from high school. But like if you continue working like how he did, like anything is possible. Because he started as a freshman. He had like 50 something tackles. He was a true freshman with 3 interceptions. He was basically like once you go up there, you just have to be strictly about business. Like you can't get distracted by these little things like partying and all those other stuff. That comes later down the road when like you make it to where you want to be. But so I just got to stay focused, lock in, and show everyone that I'm a great man corner. I'm not scared to go up against no competitions because you're gonna get beat sometimes, but like most of the time, like you're gonna be, and it's just how you bounce back on the next play. Like it's football, everybody get beat. So it's like if you give up a touchdown play, which is gonna happen, just bounce back and just go dominate the next play. And that's the mentality that he put inside of my brain going to college, and that you have to listen to your coaches because really it's like a business. So if like they tell you to do something and you get attitude, like there's plenty of people that's right behind you that could take your spot. So they don't really have to put up with it. So just basically have a great attitude, which I have a great attitude. I always listen. That's one thing I'm good at, listening. And that's basically what he was telling me, to listen. And he knows like most of the people there, like Lions safety Kirby Joseph, Davon Witherspoon, they left an impression on me because Kirby and I are like close friends. And basically he's my idol. I'm trying to be like him. They compared me to him from my film when I went up there. I got to meet him and everything. And ever since that, he followed me on Instagram. We've been talking, locked in. And now I get to watch Davon Witherspoon, who was an underdog, like no stars coming out of high school, just playing his junior year. I get to watch him, and they reflect like, if they could do that, and I started my freshman year, going into my 5th year in college, I could do the same thing that they can do, and I can make it to college. Because everyone say that they see me playing on Sundays. Just the only one could stop me from getting there is just me. They said I was born with a natural talent, I guess.
Hey, absolutely. That natural talent has led you to this point, and I know you're a very hard worker. You're going to make a great impact on Illinois' team. Obviously, they had those great players that you mentioned at your position. You know, Martin coming from this area. Now you kind of get to step in, do exactly what he did there. Hopefully start as a true freshman. We'll see what happens. I know you're going to put that work in and do what you do best. I want to ask you real quick, being a defensive back, it's a very tough position. You know, don't get beat deep. Like your last line of defense, whether you're at safety, corner, whatever the formation is, of course. But the term that I love hearing is ball hawk. You know, go up, get those interceptions. Obviously, you had the 7 interceptions your last 2 years, so you know a good thing about that. Talk to me real quick. How would you describe the mentality it takes to be an elite and successful defensive back?
Number one, you have to have confidence inside of your technique. If you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself, and you don't have like the worth ethic, then it's just like it's gonna all fall apart. First, you also have to have technique, because technique is really big. Like anybody can have raw talent and go out there and go do good. But once you get tired, you have to have the technique, because once you get tired, you start getting lazy, you're gonna get beat. So number one, I would say technique. Number two will be confidence. You got to be confident in like they dog wide receiver, and you got to be a dog, because he's a 5-star coming out of high school. He's one of the best in the nation. You're a 3-star. You're one of the best in the nation, but you're like a little bit back there. So it's just like you got to go ready to compete, and you got to have that dog mentality that when you step on the field, you're the best on the field. And that's the mentality that I have, that I grew into from juniors to sophomore year. And then number 3 is you just have to know your coverage, really, because if they say you're in cover 2, you got to know what cover 2 means. Like cover 2, you have to pass the receiver on down the field. But if there's no one coming your way, you have to stay with him at the same time. So you just got to be football smart and everything. And then number 4, basically you just got to watch film, study your receiver, know your opponent, know his speed. If he's faster than you, if you run a 4.3 40 and you're in man and you run like a 4.6 40, you're automatically like, you could be that dog, which I like to line up against faster people and challenge myself. You could be that dog, but what I learned from Sean Russ when I was at my All-Star game is that if there's a fast receiver in front of you, he like to play off man. And if they line up off the line, like way off the line, there's no way you're going to be able to jam them if they're way off the line. So he told me to like back up when I was like, he was off the line and I was in man. He told me to back up. So I backed up and it worked. Like it was like great what he told me. So now that I know going into college, if they're off the line, then I could back up and take that read step, slow play it, just in case they run like an out route. That's a cut right there. That's an interception. Now, if they're like right on the line, that's the time to go play man and get hands on it. But you also have to be patient. That's what my trainer right now, Coach Dondre, who trained Amarion Cooper and all of them, and Tavian. That's who I be training with now. And they told me like, I got the talent. Then we're working on our press out there. Me, Tavian, Duke, Greg, we're working on our press technique. and he's teaching us how to be like taking that read step, patient, stem, and all different type of techniques to use and when to use them. And since I've been out there with those, Taven especially, because he could play receiver also, he have made me a lot better, and I've been a lot more patient. I'm just being man coverage. Like my trainer told me all the time, he was like, "It would be crazy if you don't like play as a freshman because you listen, you learn. You're like the fastest learner that I ever seen." So I think that's a good thing. It sounds like a good thing when you said it like that. So that's basically it. Those are the four things you got to know. You got to have technique, confidence. What was the fourth? I forgot the fourth one. I said the fourth one. You got to know your coverage, and yeah, I forgot the fourth one. I did forget the fourth one, but those are the main three. Those are the main three.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I'm sure you're going to use all of those steps when you're
Yes,
in
sir.
college to just go dominate, start as a freshman. I cannot wait to see the highlights that you put up. Hopefully get some of those interceptions. Maybe beat
Yeah.
Jartavius Martin in that he had 3 his freshman year. Maybe you go off and get 4 interceptions. I think
Yeah.
he'd like that. So
Yes, sir.
hopefully you're going to have a great career. I know you're going to have a great career. And just like him, you're going to make your way to that NFL level, man. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I really do appreciate it. Trying to do more football interviews. Awesome. And it's great to have not just a good football player, but I can tell that you're genuinely a great human being as well. So it's great to have you on, man.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely,
Appreciate it.
man. You have a good one and have a great career.
You too.